to touch on this right here, you guys, and that is the situation with Carmelo Anthony, you guys. And I want to talk about Carmelo Anthony because he's going to return to court in August. So, according to reports from CBS News, Carmelo Anthony is set to return to court in August. And y'all smash the like button and share the video as y'all come in here. He's set to return to court in August as his legal team seeks a new trial. Now, according to this report coming out of CBS, it says Carmelo Anthony is scheduled to return to court in August as his legal team seeks to overturn the 19-year-old's murder conviction and the stabbing death of Austin Metcalf. Anthony, who was convicted of murder in June of 2026 and sentenced to 35 years in prison, has two post-conviction hearings scheduled at the Collin County Courthouse in McKinney. The first hearing is set for 9 a.m. Wednesday, August the 19th, when the legal team will argue his motion to recuse State District Judge John Roach Jr. from overseeing the appeals process. Judge Sid Harrell of the 4th Administrative Judicial Region in San Antonio is scheduled to hear that motion. A second hearing is scheduled for Thursday, August the 20th, when Anthony's attorneys are expected to present arguments in support of their motion for a new trial. In June, a group of well-known civil rights and criminal defense attorneys announced that they'll represent Anthony in pro bono in his appeals. Dallas appellate attorney David Cole, who has handled appeals for decades, told CBS News Texas after the trial that Anthony's team could have several strong arguments over whether the trial was handled correctly. The hearings marked the first major step in Anthony's post-conviction appeals process during his sentencing. So he's going back to court to see. Now, they got to figure out, first of all, what the hell is going to happen with that judge? If they get that judge recused, right? If they get that judge recused, they might have a chance to get a new trial. Right? Right? They might have a chance to get they might have a chance for a new trial. Right? Right? Think about what I just said. See, he's going back to court. 9 a.m. Wednesday, August the 19th. Right? We'll see. And Thursday, August the 20th. Right? Where they're going to present arguments in support of their motion for a new trial. So that's why I told you, all these lies people put out here on the internet, we're going to see all them people saying, oh, yeah, it was 2 9, this, that, the third, he was jumping. Man, you don't have to tell these lies. The lawyer's going to get to the truth. I told you what the lawyer said. But y'all see how Nancy Grace and how other old girl, right, Megyn Kelly and them, who demonized the family, talking about the family was bringing in race. There was not race involved. Yes, it was. It was in the sworn depositions. And the sworn depositions, and I have the sworn deposition right here. And the sworn deposition, and I have the sworn deposition right here, and the actual appeal paperwork. I will show you. I have it right here. And the sworn deposition right here, as y'all can all see on your channel, right here. I got all 193 pages. All you gotta do is go down. In that sworn deposition, they were accused, the Metcalf twins, they not only did they have evidence that these dudes had a history at school, they had a school records, you guys, of violence and bullying. They had victims that were going to come testify in court of the Metcalf twins, violence and bullying, and they had evidence that the Metcalf twins had been arrested for racist graffiti. That's in these sworn documents right here. That is right here in the sworn documents in the paperwork. Right? But if you don't read the paperwork, you wouldn't know this. But that's the thing. Those news people, they got all these people that can read and look over this stuff. They should have easily been able to see what the deal was. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. They should have easily been able to see what was up. Right? That was the worst deal anybody could have ever made. Think about what I just said to y'all. Right? And I'm showing y'all all paperwork. All the exhibits right here. Right? But the exhibit that stuck out the most was the sworn statements. It was a sworn it was a sworn statements. Then I'm finna show y'all. You got emails, all this stuff in here, bro. But I'm talking about the sworn statements. Right? Right? They don't want to talk about that. What was that sworn statement at? I got it somewhere. What was that sworn statement? I know I got it. Here it go right here. Sworn affidavit. You see this right here? You see this right here? Sworn affidavit. Right here. All you got to do is look right down this affidavit. It tells you right here. Right? It tells you. Right? They had witnesses to this stuff that they were alleging. Right? It's right here in the paperwork, y'all. All you have to do is read. Right here. They had the witness original statements. And then right here, 15 and 16. That's all y'all got to do is just read this paperwork right here. If the prosecution did not call any of these witnesses, the defense was ready to call them during the defense's case in chief and question them as hostile witnesses. Furthermore, the defense intended to call witnesses familiar with Austin and Hunter Metcalf's reputation for violence and bullying. The defense intended to call witnesses who themselves were victims of the Metcalf twins' violence and bullying. The defense intended to question Memorial High School teachers about the Metcalf twins' disciplinary history contained in their school records, right? Which corroborated their character for violence and bullying. It's right there in the paperwork. And finally, the defense intended to elicit testimony about the Metcalf twins' arrest for racist graffiti. Game over. But you don't see none of those people. None of those people that was out here talking about a race war. Right? Right? None of those people. Right? Think about what I just said to y'all. It's right here in the paperwork, right in the sworn paperwork. On page 140. On page 140. You can't beat this with a stick. And you leave this out of the case, and then none of these people are talking about this. That's the crazy part. And they'll try and downplay this like, oh, what does that have to do? Yeah, it has everything to do with it. If you're talking about two racist, violent bullies, that's way different than two church-going, just honest little youngins that's out there not looking for nothing. Make it make sense. And this boy got 35. Y'all sitting up here talking. They would have presented this evidence to any sane jury. That boy walks. Like, share, subscribe, man. And I didn't even get to see this during the trial. This came out after the trial. All this stuff was held out of the trial. That's wild. Hey, we always appreciate the support, and if you guys want to do so, you can use the Cash App or PayPal links. They'll be in the description box below this video or pinned at the top of the comments. The top donators will be announced every month. All right, you guys, hope y'all enjoyed the video. Like, share, and subscribe. Make sure y'all cop the merch, and make sure that you get the weight loss formula. The links to that will be in the description box below this video. Check out our next video coming up right now.